What's up guys, my name is Alfie. Welcome back to Greener Shoes, the YouTube channel that has sustainability aspects and skateboarding shoes. Today we're gonna take a look at the Nike SB in Nyjah Free. After hearing a lot about these shoes from Nyjah's video talking about them and the behind the scenes sort of video they did about these shoes, I just had to cop me a pair. I was really interested in the material use in this shoe and all the technologies that went into making this shoe. I heard a lot about them being more of a technical shoe from Nike. I know they push a lot of development and technology in their shoes. So I was really interested to see what one of the biggest companies in the skateboarding shoe business right now had come up with. So I got these shoes from a Facebook group called Skateboard Buy and Sell that's located here in Sweden. It's a second-hand online sort of store. And I got these shoes for about $50. The unique selling point of this shoe is supposed to be that they break in fast in the sole. You can feel your board really well. The upper is really durable, composed mainly of a rubber material. And also they feature a really nice, interesting booty construction so that you are supposed to be very close to your board. I was really hyped getting these shoes because I thought that finally I would have a good shoe with really good outsoles, and that's usually the part that I wear out first. As you can see, I didn't skate a lot in these shoes. Personally, I found them to be a little bit too narrow on the forefoot and also to be way too much board feel for me personally. So, getting into the shoes. This shoe features a really nice, interesting sole here. It reminds me a lot of the Nike vulcanized cup sole hybrid, seeing as it's mainly a cup sole but it's very thin, and they also feature this really big EVA foam insert right here. In the video talking about the shoes, they really dived into having interesting geometries on the outsole, making it more flexible, connecting to the board better, and it breaks in faster. This shoe also features a booty construction that's mainly on the inside of the shoe, on the tongue here and also sort of in the back. They have this little thicker piece right here that's supposed to just lock you in a little better. Usually I find most shoes to be pretty badly ventilated, but these shoes had these really interesting patterns on the side that's supposed to make them even more breathable and ventilated. However, skating these shoes, I couldn't really feel that at all. The holes on the top of the toe box, they also don't really lead anywhere and they're super small, which I find to be one continuing problem with different shoe models. These shoes also feature a rubber upper, which is supposed to be really durable, and also it actually repels a lot of oils and dirt that get on the shoe, and they're also super easy to clean. Getting into the materials used in this shoe, when looking around and doing my research for this video, I looked at the Nike SB website. Nike don't really say what kind of rubber it is, if it's natural rubber or synthetic rubber, what kind of rubber blend it would be if it's synthetic, and I really couldn't figure out what this upper was really made of. However, I did a lot of research on rubber and different rubber compounds and manufacturing techniques, and what I found was, starting out with natural rubber is a polymer, which is a type of plastic material. Means you can form it really simply using mainly heat. Natural rubber has a very distinct quality, which is that it's very resilient to wear and tear, and it's also very elastic, more so than many synthetic rubbers. The majority of natural rubber production is from Malaysia, Indonesia and Thailand, and it's produced by tapping the parrot tree from its sap. In recent years, new types of rubber have emerged from alternative sources. For example, Ulex, certified rubber that's from a plant called the guayule plant. But today there are a lot of synthetic alternatives to natural rubber. Synthetic rubbers have different qualities. They're usually very resilient and have a good resistance to abrasion and chemicals and stuff. They also have shape memory and will therefore return to their original shape after deformation. They're used in the place of natural rubber, being as it's usually cheaper, and also it's not uncommon to mix the material with limestone, making it harder. The production techniques in different synthetic materials vary according to the base polymer. The company DuPont was the first that created the synthetic rubber we know as neoprene from polychloroprene rubber, which is known as CR or neoprene. Neoprene is very common in skate shoes and the elastic bands that usually hold the tongue down on the forefoot. It's used in a lot of different skate shoes, such as my SLB mids feature this neoprene collar. I'm gonna do a whole video about these shoes, so shouldn't even mention them right now. The success of CR is due to its unique balance of mechanical strength and resistance to weathering. It's modified through copolymerization and blending, and it can be relatively soft compared to other synthetic rubbers. This type of rubber is also relatively expensive, which might be the explanation to these shoes being priced at around $100. So getting into the sustainability of these shoes, the biggest advantage to using natural rubbers is that it's a bioplastic material, which means it will eventually break down naturally in the wild. So we all know that we today produce way too many different materials, specifically plastics. One of the biggest issues in the development of these plastics is that they're very hard to sort out, and as soon as you start mixing them, they lose their qualities and they also become harder to recycle again and again and again. Rubber is a thermoset material and it's not possible to recycle it directly. However, in the recycling process of this material, there are three methods commonly being used, which is devulcanization, reclaim, and crumbing the material. And waste that is not recycled is usually incinerated or disposed. Recycled material is also more expensive than virgin material. There are some natural polymers that can be molded and refined without the addition of petrochemicals. Bioplastics require less energy to produce as raw materials and are fully biodegradable at the end of their use. So one of the downsides in natural rubber production is that since it's a very locally grown material, it's maybe not the best, since its availability is very restricted to that part of the world. However, with transportation and many of Nike's factories actually being situated in the southeastern part of Asia, I believe that the material maybe isn't too far away. One of the biggest downsides to this material is also the heat and energy required to develop and bake the material. You probably heard of vulcanization. Personally, I have a problem seeing that Nike would use this natural rubber from renewable sources and being sustainable material, simply because of the fact that nowadays when we make a product sustainable, we really want to push that sustainability to make it a unique selling point of its own. And Nike hasn't really done that. Therefore, I believe the rubber in the shoe is mainly composed of a synthetic rubber material. So, are these shoes greener shoes or not? It's hard to say. Hopefully these shoes are really durable, but the materials being used in this shoe are probably not the most eco-friendly. However, if they last a really long time, maybe they would make up for buying several pairs of other shoes. With Nike being more transparent and maybe publishing some of their development strategies still trademarked, we could learn more about the material and the processes being used and be steadily evolving, making the shoe industry more sustainable. Since these didn't really fit my style of skating, I'll most definitely make sure to resell them to a person that likes the board feel and really digs Nyjah maybe. In reselling these shoes, I believe that the consumer can definitely make a big difference, utilizing the energy that has already been put into the material and the production of these shoes, and that's a great way for the consumer to actually contribute to a more sustainable usage of the product itself. Alright, that's my review of the Nike SB Nyjah Free shoe. Feel free to leave a comment what you think about these shoes. I would be really interested to know how long they lasted you if you got a pair. Also what materials you would have preferred and what Nike could do to make their shoes a little more sustainable. And let's have a discussion about these shoes and the sustainability in skateboarding. We all know it's pretty needed by now. If someone can do it, it's Nike. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for even more greener shoes content. And remember, keep it green. Rubber material. Who's not a fan of Nyjah, right? And these shoes also smell pretty nice.